Oh, well, now we have an update to a story we've been following closely here on News Nation. The mother of the 6-year-old Virginia boy who shot his teacher, well, she is now facing federal gun charges. The attorney for Deja Taylor says his client will plead guilty as part of a deal with prosecutors. She's already facing state charges, including felony child neglect, but her son will not be charged with a crime. It was back in January when police say that 6-year-old pointed a gun at his teacher, then pulled the trigger, hitting her in her arm and chest. She did survive with injuries. But for some perspective, let's bring in Florida State Attorney for Palm Beach County, Dave Ehrenberg. Dave, great to talk with you. Thank you for your time. Explain these charges to us, because they don't really have anything to do with how her son got his hands on that gun. We still don't know exactly how that happened.
Yeah, it's great to be back with you. I think the main charge is really at the state level, which goes after the parents or the mother for recklessly leaving the gun around. And I think that's where you will find the details on what happened. Plus, you get her on a felony for child endangerment. But when it comes to these federal charges, the fact that she's already pleading guilty shows that these are relatively minor charges. I think they just may keep her, just have the conviction and not have her serve any prison time, but just make a point. It is interesting the federal government's intervening here because under the state law, marijuana is legal, but under federal law, it is not. And so the federal government could possibly use this as a model for future cases where parents are acting terribly and allowing their child to get access to a gun.
Right, because the federal charges that she's facing have to do with using drugs and having guns. So Dave, Taylor, as we said, has previously apologized to this teacher, the teacher who was shot. She has accepted responsibility for her son's access to that firearm, although, again, we don't know exactly how he got his hands on it. But what could that mean, that apology, that acceptance of responsibility, when it comes to all of the charges she is facing? Because we know, her attorney says she does plan to plead guilty to these federal charges.
It will definitely help her in the federal case that she's pleading guilty right away. She is accepting responsibility. And I think that's why she will probably not get any federal prison time. After all, it's not a really major crime when they're saying that she was using marijuana when she filled out her form. There are a lot of people who do that under the state law, which allows the use of marijuana, but under federal law, it does not. So if the federal government's going to use this as a precedent, watch out. You're going to see a lot more of these cases. So I suspect the fact that she's pleading guilty, I think that she'll probably get probation or not in incarceration. Now, the state crimes are different. I think that's where she may go down, because the state crimes, she has not pled guilty to them. That could go to trial, and you have a felony and a misdemeanor there. I think that's way more serious.
And that's my last question for you, Dave, because there is this trial that you just mentioned. That trial is set to start in mid-August, so later this summer, and that is separate from these new federal charges she's facing.
Yes, and that's why I think she has a possibility of going to prison for the state charge. She's not pleading guilty there because the state is obviously not offering her a deal where she can avoid incarceration. I think that's why she took the deal with the feds, because the deal probably involves just probation, no incarceration. We will find out more details about what happened when this goes to trial at the state level. That's the big one here, especially the felony of child endangerment. That's even more serious than the misdemeanor charge of recklessly leaving a firearm around where your child could get access to it.
All right, so we should find out a lot more information in about 2 months. All right, Dave Ehrenberg, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.